Hello, my little artists. It's a beautiful day here in Montana. I thought I'd take a little fishing break and whoa! Whew. Oh, wow. Look at this guy. What a beauty. Oh yeah, slippery little sucker. Whew. Would you look at that? Oh yeah, that's a keeper. Hey, this gives me an idea. Let me show you what we're gonna make. I'm pretty sure we can make our very own rainbow trout using some white tag board or poster board, a pencil, a permanent marker, some crayons, some scissors, some watercolors, a cup of water with a paintbrush, a stapler, and some newspaper. If you're missing either crayons or watercolors, that's okay. You can always color using colored pencils or markers or whatever you have available. Before we get started, let's check out this illustration of the parts of a rainbow trout. This picture is by Cheryl Raffuse, and it shows all of the many fins that a rainbow trout has, and it shows you kind of the coloring, that pretty green color with a pink stripe down the middle. Just notice all the different parts that we want to put on our fishy so he looks nice and realistic. My first step is going to be to draw my rainbow trout on my piece of poster board. If you're using actual poster board, just take note that one side is shiny and one side's not shiny. You want to draw on the not shiny side, that way our watercolor will stick a little bit better. And if you don't have poster board, you could use something like a file folder. You just want it to be a little bit more heavy duty than regular paper because we're going to be stuffing it, so it needs to have a little bit of strength. If you don't have any of those things, you can still just draw a fish on a piece of paper. We'll be learning all the proper parts and fins, and it'll still be very exciting even if you don't have any tag board. So my first shape is going to be kind of a long skinny football shape. I want to get my main fish body drawn first. Oh, not bad. And notice I'm leaving a lot of space up here because I'm actually going to be drawing this fish 2 times. I'll let you know what I mean by that in just a minute. But start out by drawing your long football shape. And then as you remember from the picture I showed you at the very beginning, that your fish has a bunch of different fins. He has a dorsal fin up here, kind of a triangle. It's a larger fin coming off right on the top. And then he has a smallish fin right here called the adipose fin, just a little guy. And then his big flapper in the back is called a caudal fin. Totally cool. Another small one under here that kind of matches the adipose fin, has a name that I'm not going to say on live TV. And then another one right here on his belly called the pelvic fin. And a pectoral fin right here. All right, it's coming together. And then he also has gills and a gill cover right here. And a nice big fish eyeball right here. You know we're gonna give him a twinkle. Oh, cute. And then if you want, you can draw his little mouth open. And then I like to just erase that little line. You don't have to because you're gonna cut it out anyways, but same with this line. Anything that you're not gonna be tracing or painting, you can erase. I think that looks pretty good. And then I'm just gonna really lightly draw a line down the middle so I know where to add the pink. This line on a rainbow trout is called the lateral line. And one other thing, you don't have to do a rainbow trout, you know, you could do a goldfish for all I care. I'm just showing you how to do a rainbow trout because that's what I caught today. Our next job is to cut out our fish. And remember I said we were going to be drawing it 2 times. We're going to cut this fishy out and then trace it up here so they're the exact same size. So go ahead and cut this fishy out. Slow and steady wins the race. It's kind of tricky to get through this tag board paper, so just take your time. Okay, now that I got that fishy cut out, I'm going to scooch it up here where I still have space for my second outline. And I'm going to just very carefully trace my fishy, and I don't want this first drawing to move around at all. I need them to be exactly the same size. So you might want to ask somebody to hold this part down really well for you while you just carefully, slowly trace all the way around. We're going to have another perfect outline of our fishy. Like this. Then you're going to cut out this fishy. So now I have 2 matching fishies, and I'm going to take my first fishy that has all the detail on it, and I'm going to trace over everything I drew with pencil I'm going to trace over with my permanent marker, and I'm even going to add a little bit more detail. So I'll trace over his eyeball. You can even color in this dark part. Oh, cute. So cute. And then his little gill covers. And you can kind of separate this line between the fish body and the dorsal fin. And then I like to draw just some little lines, parallel lines here, to show a little bit of detail and texture on that dorsal fin. And then same thing with the adipose fin. You can separate it from the body, add a little bit of texture. Same thing with the caudal fin. Jazz it up a little. Here we have the fin that shall not be mentioned. This is the pelvic fin. Pelvic fin, pectoral fin. This one's my favorite. He looks like he's gonna just wave at you with it. So cute. And then rainbow trout also have these really cool freckles all over them. So I just gently tap down my Sharpie all over his back like this. Add those little freckles. Make sure you don't drop your Sharpie. It goes faster, but you'll ruin the tip of your Sharpie. Not good news. And there's some down here too. Fishy freckles. All right, I think he's really coming together. He's starting to look like a rainbow trout. So now at this step, you can decide if you want to color with colored pencils or crayons or markers, or if you have crayons and watercolors. What I like to do is take my crayon and pick out a pinky color, and I'm gonna color that lateral line on my rainbow trout with crayon. If you've ever painted with watercolor over crayon, you know what happens. It's gonna be so cool. Your watercolor will not want to stick to this oily, waxy surface of the crayon, and so it will just repel itself right off of there, and my pink will still show through. It's totally cool. And then I like to add a little bit more pink, or maybe like a peachy color, just to add a little more action up here. Maybe on his caudal fin too. Pectoral fin. Oh, I'm gonna give him a little rosy cheek too. All right, and then I'll show you what happens when I go paint my green over top of that crayon with my watercolors. I'm gonna take my paintbrush and my water cup. Remember to drag off the extra water. Watercolors have watercolor right in their name, but you don't need very much water, so get off that extra water. Less water, more paint. I'm gonna swish my brush around in the green for a while. These don't have to be realistic colors either. If you want to paint your rainbow trout purple, go for it. Watch this. I can paint right over that pink lateral line, and it still shows through. Oh, so cool. It just kicks it right out. A little more green. Oh man, this guy is so adorbs. All right, finish painting him up and then let him dry before we move on to the next step. Okay, now my fishy is pretty much dry, and I'm just going to line him up with the other traced version, and we're gonna connect them using our stapler. I usually start up by his nose, and as close to the edge as you can while still keeping it on the paper. You're gonna staple them together. About maybe an inch apart. You can go right under that dorsal fin, no problemo. Try to keep them lined up as best you can. You could always also punch holes and stitch these together with yarn. That would be another pretty way. All the way around. And then stop right here by his mouth again. You want to leave a little bit of an opening here so that we can sneak our stuffing inside. For our stuffing, we're just going to use a few shreds of our newspaper. And newspaper is really fun to rip. It really rips nice and smooth. And you're just going to pinch at the foldy edge of your newspaper, twist your hands to each direction, and then rip a nice even strip. You really don't need very much stuffing for your fishy. It's just to give him a little bit of 3D-ness. That should be plenty. And hold open his mouth and feed him a little bit of your newspaper strips. Give him a nice full belly. Try to push it down there as far as you can. Maybe use the end of your paintbrush or a pencil. You don't want too much or it starts splitting out the seams. He looks totally cray-cray. This fish loves newspaper. All right, when you get them all stuffed, you're gonna add a couple more staples just to stitch them up. Right here. Maybe one more right here. Oh, cute. And of course, we'll need to name him. I'm thinking maybe Harvey. Where do fish keep their money? In a riverbank. See you next time.